Okay, we're recording. So this is our fourth grammar class. So in grammar class 4, we actually start getting into grammar cases. And I reviewed the chapter in our book. And this is when if you thought the book was hard so far, this is when the book starts to get really a little more difficult. So before we even did that chapter, I wanted to go through the cases with you based on a sheet that um, one of my fellow translator and a very intelligent person, um, Mr. Ben Kramer, had created. And so um, based upon his creation, we're going to have an overview of the grammar cases as a way to make it a little more available to you when we jump into grammar stuff, I guess next week. And so for Nicole's question about what page we're on, it's lesson 4, Nicole. I think it's page 97. Okay. But the page that I'm going to discuss in today's class is not in the book. So I'll have to send it to you or something. Mr. Ben Kramer made it in all his infinite wisdom and hard work. Okay, so here we go. Grammar cases. Hi, John, this is your time to shine, okay?
Right.
Hi, John is our official grammarian. All right.
No, not yet.
Sunam is very good at the grammar cases if you want help with it in Tibetan. Okay, so here we go. So what is a grammar case, you may ask? A grammar case is in a sentence, it's the different roles that a word can play as far as what is occurring in the action of the sentence or whatever it is going on in the sentence. And so Tibetan grammar is based upon Sanskrit grammar, and that basis is somewhat artificial in the sense that Sanskrit is a highly inflected language. What does inflection mean? Inflection means that every time a word is used in a different grammar case, in a different way in a sentence, it is marked in a certain way using letters, right? So in Sanskrit grammar, this marking is so normal, meaning so regular, that apparently you can generate by computer new words in Sanskrit, which would be totally understandable by a fluent Sanskrit speaker. Okay. English is like nothing close to that. English, it would be impossible. You have to explain the meaning of every word in English. Although you could maybe figure stuff out if you were good at Latin, or it was, you based it in Latin or something like that, or perhaps Greek, or even German or French. Anyway, Tibetan, some of these grammar cases are marked while others are not. Okay, marking means you use some kind of particle, right, which is a small word, to show what role a particular word is playing in a sentence. Okay. Super basic example. Word is going to his house. right? So in English, the word to, which is a preposition, because it's positioned before, prepositioned, I guess that's the predicate. I don't know, that's the grammar term. But before a noun group, shows that his house is the direct object in the sentence. Where's word going? He's going to his house, right? If I said at his house, it would still show that his house was the direct object, but the action of of word in relation to the house would have changed. He's not moving towards it. He's now situated in that place, right? And so on and so forth. Okay. So, but if you put house as the subject of the sentence, the house is going up for sale, right? And so in that case, house becomes the subject of the sentence, right? And up for sale becomes the, I guess, predicate, the action that's happening, right? And going in that sentence is like a helper verb or something, or shows that it's happening or will happen, excuse me, right, in the future. Yada, yada, yada. So the same way we have those things in English, and, in some languages, they're kept more ambiguous, and in other languages, they're more distinct. Yulia's on our call. Yulia,
Yes.
hi, Leah's here too. Hi, Leah. How was your retreat?
So awesome.
Oh my God, you're glowing.
Thank you.
Did you do a lot of yoga? You look like all yogaed up or something.
I did a lot of yoga and some swimming. Yeah.
Okay, you look good. Good job.
Thank you.
I mean, you looked good before. You look great. Okay, how about that?
Thank you.
Going. Yulia, you speak Finnish, right?
Yes, I do.
I've heard Finnish is super inflected, like every grammar case, and is like you have a lot of endings in Finnish. Is that true?
Yeah, we use endings to like make others understand who is doing some action and so on.
Exactly. So this is easy in Finnish. I heard Russian is inflected pretty high too, right, Aijan? Okay. Chinese is like no inflection, which is awesome for me trying to learn it.
And what about Spanish?
Spanish, not so much. But you should tell me. You're the one who speaks it.
I guess I don't understand very well yet that inflection thing to analyze.
Each case is marked at the end by a group of letters signifying what its action is in the sentence. Right?
But a mark, are you talking specifically in writing, a mark, or like
words, letters, something, right?
I'm thinking in examples.
Okay, you think. I'm gonna keep going. Okay. All right. So even though there's 8 grammar cases in Tibetan, not all of them are marked. All right. So here we go. The grammar cases. The first one is the nominative, which is basically what role. Oh yeah, by the way, there is some mistakes in this document. It's a PDF, so I can't change it. I have to petition Mr. Kramer for the original document, which I may have somewhere actually. So I apologize. I can't change the errors without redoing the whole document, which is not happening right now. Okay, so Tongpo. What does Tongpo mean? Anyone?
And something?
Nice try, Nicole. Tong does mean and. Tongpo, though, means first. Okay? That's one of the things. I've talked about that in one class. I don't know which one at this point. Anyway, this just means first case.
I'm only.
Oh, did I? Yeah, Tong. Was it? Yeah, okay. Tongpo as opposed to Chickpo and all that stuff. Okay, John remembers. That's good. Somebody does. Hasso,
Yes.
pronounce this word correctly.
That's. Oh, wait. That'll be. Yeah.
Yay! Good. Okay. That's awesome. Nicole, whatever you're doing, keep doing it, okay? Namye Tongpo. This is the first case. Namye means case. In this case, ye means to divide. Nam means like that quality, or sometimes, no, it basically means that part or quality or something. Mingsang ngoa. This should be ngoa, not this is a typo. So it's not marked. Okay, so here's our example in Puke, in Tibetan. Humpa, humpa bi takpa yi. Okay? Hasso, what's a pumpa?
It's the water pitcher, but now we say coffee cup.
Why are we always talking about water pitchers and coffee cups?
Because they use that word to say like the most common thing you will kind of always have around. So in the old days it was like a water pitcher in the house, but nowadays they say the equivalent will be a coffee cup that you can see everywhere around.
Thank you, Hasso. Very good. Perfectly said. Exactly. So, Mr. Kramer, who is a avid debater, used this very popular debate sentence that coffee cups are changing things, right? So bumpa, okay, so Hasso, listen close. There's no change in the word bumpa to indicate that it's the subject of the sentence. The way you know that it's the subject of the sentence, it's by its position as the first part of the sentence and in context, right? The fact that takpa is a adjective,
Yes.
yin is a verb, rules out them being the necessarily, right, being the nouns in the sentence, right? So coffee cups are changing things, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's not marked. There's no additional word or letters added on to bumpa to indicate that it is indeed the subject of the sentence. Understand?
Yes. And what you were saying is like if it were Sanskrit, it will have something.
The nominative is marked, right? Like Yoga
Oh.
Sutra, if it's the subject of the sentence, you say Yoga Sutram.
Oh, that's nice.
And yeah, because there's no ambiguity at that point. You can never mistake
Get
what whole.
confused.
Yeah, it can't be confused. And that's the beauty of Sanskrit. The difficulty is you have to memorize all those things if you want to learn Sanskrit.
Yeah.
But some scholars incorrectly call the Yoga Sutra Yoga Sutram because they think, oh, it says Yoga Sutram. That's the real way to say it. But no, Yoga Sutra is the title. Yoga Sutra. Yoga Sutram is the nominative form of the word Yoga Sutra.
Cool.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Guess your Michael taught me. Okay. Here we go. Second case, it is marked. Also, I'm muting your mic.
Yes. Yeah.
The second case is marked. It is marked by a la dun particle. Ijon, here we go, Ijon. You ready? What is a la dun particle? I mean, they're listed there, but why is it called la dun?
Why? I don't know, maybe because la is the common one. But
La
it is
is common. And what does dun mean?
dun.
D-O-N, dun. Dun means meaning.
Okay. Yes, meaning. Right.
Because they all mean la.
Goal or meaning. Right.
Yeah, goal or meaning, exactly. So la dun, which I used to think was la dun, because dun means seven, and there's seven of them. So the whole time I was like, oh, la dun, the seven la's. But it's not. It's la Latun. Okay? And there's 7 of them. Suru, tu, du, nara, la. Okay? And they all can mean basically the same thing. And you can also put an 8th Ladun particle, which is what, John? Why could I add an 8th one?
8th one. You mean just R? I don't know.
Just what?
Just R?
R, right? You mean R, right?
R, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Why is just R sometimes a Ladun particle?
When it is a vowel, when the previous word ends on vowel.
Yay! See, I told you, she's grammarian. Okay. Yeah, when you see an R, like if, like bumpa, pa ends in a vowel. So after, you could possibly put an R in some cases. Bumpar. So you have to know enough Tibetan to know, like, wow, this word doesn't usually have an R on the end. Why does it have an R now? Because it's indicating a case, okay? And it could be more than one case, but now we're going to talk about the accusative case, right? Or the objective case. And these are all fancy words. Why are they fancy? Because no one talks about grammar. And you have to use technical language because actually, if you try to study grammar, grammar is one of the 5 subjects. Ringne. What's so great about the 5 subjects, Hasso?
They make you pandita.
Yeah, but what do they exactly? Right? Which I didn't check yet, which is
Oh, okay. So they are all related and they all help you to understand emptiness.
perfect. But what do they say? If you master the 5 subjects, what happens to you?
You become a pandita.
Yeah, they said you can become omniscient.
Oh, cool. A Buddha then.
Yeah, you can become omniscient by studying the 5 subjects.
I never hear that. That's amazing.
Yes. Ishe Michael told me.
What are you doing, Word? Now I understand your plan.
Now you're just getting it? Okay.
Kidding.
What do you think? What do you think I'm teaching grammar because it's fun? Come on now.
Yeah.
There's nothing fun about grammar. I'm joking. Grammar can be amazing. But if you study grammar, what happens is you can understand how people's minds work. Because if you think there is an object that's direct, you think there's something outside of yourself. So studying language helps you actually understand how the mind works, right? There has to be a future tense in language because you think there's a future. There has to be a past because you think there's a past. There has to be an exchange between you and an object because you are separate from that object based on your thinking. And if you go deep enough into that thinking, you hit emptiness. You have to. It's inevitable. If you think about language deeply and well enough, you will hit emptiness. There's no other way to go. Because it doesn't work. Okay, when I don't know how old was I? How old was I? I think I was like 13. I can't remember though. And I was thinking about it. I was like, wait a second. Maybe I was younger. I was like, wait a second. How is it possible that, first of all, I thought about pets. I was like, how can a pet learn its name? Yeah, of course you look at it and say it, but you look at it and say a lot of things. How can it differentiate ever that thing that you're saying it is its name? And then I was like, wait a second. If that's true for pets, that's true for babies too. And then recently I found out Noam Chomsky, who's the father of modern linguistics, has a whole thing. It's called I forget what it's called. It's got an amazing name. But he says the same thing. It's impossible. It's impossible for a baby, just based on the information coming at it, if the baby has no register already of language, for them to differentiate between the sounds in their environment and the sounds that are language that they would then consider something that it's to say, and then to order them in a way to create coherent speech. It's impossible. And if you think about it deeply, logically, it's totally correct. That's just like Master Kamala Shila says, how can you recognize your mother after not seeing her? Right? It's impossible. How can you recognize yourself as yourself and say, oh, that's me when you were 3? Oh, that's you? In what way is that you now? There's no way in which that's you. But yet, that is you. How is that possible? And I argue that if you think about language enough, you'll find these things out. I have a whole playlist about this stuff on my YouTube channel, which you should subscribe to. It's called, I got a lot of playlists. Let me see. Oh, linguistics and philosophy. Okay. So, yeah. Anyway, on it, I have the answers to what I can't remember, what I can't look at it right now because I got to talk about grammar. Okay, cool. So this is the objective case, okay? He looked at the pot, right? So in this sentence, la means at. So unfortunately, Tibetan is not as distinct as Sanskrit. There is a lot of cases of ambiguity where you have to understand the context. So if you're looking and you're a he and there's a pot, and notice the la, the at, comes after the noun. Excuse me, in this case, this is the direct object, right? Which is a noun, okay? But it comes afterwards. It is a noun, it's just not the subject of sentence. Okay, so this is called a postposition, which is the same as a preposition. It just happens post. So post in English means after, right? Post game, as opposed to pre-game, right? Sorry, they just started the basketball season again, so I'm thinking about games. The playoffs, okay? Don't blame me. All right. So here we are. Suru tu na ra la can all mean la. So when you translate, which you're all going to do, I can see in your eyes. You all want to be translators, which is great. You should become translators. You all have the intelligence and wherewithal. And you have some weirdo teaching you grammar for free, so that's another benefit. Okay? So all these can mean at, but in the context of our sentence, you wouldn't say he looked to the pot, you know? I mean, you can look to the pot, maybe for support or something. I guess he could look. He looked for the pot. I think that's a different verb in Tibetan, though. To search, right? It might be nye or something. Anyway, that we translate it as at. But all these could be at as well, unfortunately. And why you use each verb, each postposition is based upon the preceding suffix letter. Okay, so let me show you, because now you're like, what? I've mentioned stuff like this before. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, I'll just share my whole screen, okay? Not this thing. Okay, here we go. Now my dictionary, Geshe-la asked me to put these bars in geniusly. Now I can go right to any main term. Ladun, only one in the whole book. Look, Namye. What's Namye? Hasso.
Uh, f- uh, first case? No, case or
Yes. Perfect. Case. Ken. What's Ken as opposed to Gyu?
is that the bait master?
No, that's Kiku. Ken just means this is the things in the case that mark it or support it. Ken means supporting cause or condition, right? The compost, the sun, and the water as opposed to the seed. Ken, okay?
Okay, okay.
Okay, here they are. Suraru tu na and la. Okay? And now this is explaining when you use all of them. When the suffix letter is ka and wa, okay, and the yangjuk, the secondary suffix tadrak, you use tu, right? When the all right, let me see. Tetaki tra chur kap genjuk. In this means in the instance, right? See, they are used in the instances that depend on the sound, right, of the suffix letter, okay, and those suffix letter and or the yangjuk, the secondary suffix letters. So when that's a sa, you use su. When it's ka and wa or pa, you use tu, right? When the genjuk is a nga, ta, na, ma, and ra, you use tu. Okay? When it's a low tone, right? Or tame, does not have an ending, you use ra, right? That's just the R and ru, both. But they all both look like just R, I guess. Oh, I guess this depends on which sounds better. Because that's dejor, like sandi, right? Like in Spanish, how before a vowel, you don't say, like before a certain vowel, you don't say O, right? For or, you say U, right?
Yeah,
Or you don't say E for and, you say right?
yes.
Okay, that's called sandi. In English, we don't say an apocalypse, you don't say a apocalypse, you say an apocalypse, right? Because there's an a before, and then it would sound weird. And same in Sanskrit. Okay, and then la and na are both used when the genjuk or yanjuk is a la. So that depends. So right, it depends too.
Sorry, what's Genjuk? Genjuk.
Suffix.
And it's the same J in Dorje? No, because
No,
it has an S, right?
Lord J means Lord. J means Lord. J with a sa means after.
Actor?
After.
After. Okay, great.
This just means suffix. The thing after. The thing you put after. Sofijo. Suffix. Right? ¿Entiendes?
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. And
Once again, so sa, after sa it's su, then ka, pa, ta, it is tu.
yeah, and you don't have to memorize this. I'm just showing you. But you're right. After ka and pa, and tadrak, which is the secondary suffix ta, it's tu.
As a secondary.
Secondary suffix.
Nga, ta, na, ma, ra, la. It is
Ta,
two.
na, ma, ra, la. It's two.
And the nga also, right?
Yeah, excuse me. Yep, nga as well. Yes.
And then when is ra? So ra, it is when there is no nothing, and okay.
Right, which is not pronounced. Which has the same effect because the sound. Right? Okay? Don't worry about getting all of it. It's too much. I'm just showing you the why. Okay? Stopping that. Okay. Okay, here we go. So that's the accusative case, which we usually say direct object. Okay? So the thing you're acting on in the sentence. That's all. Next. Okay, the third case is the instrumental, also called agentive. So this is marking the thing performing the action in the sentence, right? Sangye, what's sangye mean? Nicole? Yay! Means the Buddha. Sangye ki chu juten, right? What's chu? Chu.
Dharma, chu.
Yeah, dharma. The Buddha taught the Dharma. So in English, we just say the Buddha taught the Dharma. We don't, it's not inflected. We don't say anything after Buddha or change the word Buddha at all to indicate that he's the subject acting in the sentence. Okay? But in Tibetan, you have to say by the Buddha, the Dharma was taught. So here, and so so the particles you use are ki, agiku, e with an S, or just an S, and yi. And again, huh?
And it would be a different case if you say the Dharma was taught by the Buddha, that if you say, because now in that case, the Dharma will be the direct subject, or how do you say? The difference between saying by the Buddha, the Dharma was taught against or versus saying the Dharma was taught by the Buddha.
Well, that's English. And both those sentences mean the same thing in English. So the question, this sentence could be translated either of those ways. One is just the passive voice and one is the active voice, which is a whole other discussion. So the answer would be no, because the Buddha taught the Dharma, and by the Buddha, and the Dharma was taught by the Buddha, or the Buddha taught, that's the same thing, right?
Yes, and in this sentence, the Buddha, how do you call that part of the sentence? The Buddha is the
Subject.
subject?
Mhm.
The subject or the object?
The subject.
Ah, okay, and the Dharma, the object. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay. I think this might be misspelled too. Okay, so when you see these S's after a word or a particle with an S on the end, it basically means by, like by in English. But do we always translate it as by? No, because it's not necessary in English, but that's what it literally means, right? So these are called jedras, meaning sound that indicates doing, right? Or what is being done. And I could show you the dictionary, but I'm not going to because you're going to get distracted, okay? But each one of these things it depends on the suffix again. Everybody say genjuk,
Chenjuk.
genjuk.
Chenjuk.
Yeah. J means after, juk means enter. And how do you say? Hojatsu, after ending letter. And this is the Chinese translation of genjuk. Okay, so the genjuk, the suffix, those mean the same thing. Suffix is English. I know it doesn't sound like English because you never heard of this word, right? They taught us it in 3rd grade. The suffix is the thing you add on the end of a word, right? Genjuk. You add it after. Got it? Everybody knows what genjuk means now? Okay, because I'm going to keep, because if I can just use a Tibetan, it'll be easier for you later. Okay, especially when you go to teach it. Okay. So since the genjuk here is sa, because sangye, then you use ki. Use the ka. That's the only difference between these things. They all mean the same thing. Just similar to how all these meant the same thing. It just depends on the previous letter when you use them. Does that make sense, everybody? Ask a question right now if that does not make sense. No one? Okay, good. Moving on. By the way, su can also mean who. So sometimes that's ambiguous in a sentence, just so you know. Su can also, and na can also mean if sometimes. And tu can also, well, it could be short for many. But when it is a postposition, it means the same thing. All right, or could mean the same thing. Sorry, I didn't come up with it. I'm just reporting. All right, how do you say cerro? Okay, so 4th case, again, so what is similar about the 4th case and the 2nd case? Anybody?
They are exactly the same ones.
The same ones what?
The same
Genjuk.
jinjuks, yes.
No, these aren't the genjuks. Ah!
No, I mean, it depends on the same genjuk
Say particle.
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 Good.
Particle.
3 times helps. Yeah. It's not, genjuk is the suffix. The particle is what comes after, which depends on the genjuk, right?
Yes.
Sorry, you're learning grammar. It's technical. So just technical language. This is how it is, okay? So here we go. Suru tu tu nara la. Again, which are called what collectively? Anyone?
The
Ladun?
dune something.
No.
Or is it good? Ladun?
Yes, la dun. Not dun something. Something.
Latin.
Oh, so I love you. Okay, so dative case. So dative case is the indirect object. So it's easier to learn Tibetan grammar if you know English grammar, just so you know, okay? So if you don't know English grammar, because this class is in English, I can't teach you grammar in Chinese, although I'd like to one day. So trust me, if you kind of spaced out on this in middle school, which I remember when I spaced out, I stopped pretty much at appositives. The use of appositives, using commas. That's the last thing I was like, okay, no more, I'm done, right? So just so you know, here we are. So dative case. So dative is the indirect object, right? Okay. So now we're gonna do some syntax. Here we go. Nicole. Nicole looks like she was a good student in school. Weren't you, Nicole?
Depends on the class.
Okay. Okay. How's your English?
Well, let's see.
Okay, good enough. The doctor. What part of the sentence is that? The doctor gives medicine to the sick.
The subject.
Perfect. Gives. What part of the sentence is that?
The verb.
Perfect. All right. Medicine. What part of the sentence is that?
The object. Oh
It-
no.
Yes. Very
Yeah.
much. Yes. It's the direct object, right?
Yeah.
What the subject is.
Giving.
Yes. Perfect. And who or what he's giving it to, or she's giving it to, is who? Whom?
The sick.
Yeah. And so what part of the sentence is that?
The genjuk. Oh no, that's the suffix. The I don't know.
Indirect object.
Oh, indirect object.
Okay. Which is dative case.
So then the two is what we're learning.
Yeah, but to can be used in different ways.
Okay.
It can be used to show what the direct object is. It can also be shown to show what the indirect object is,
Okay.
right? Which is, of course, confusing and ambiguous. Sorry, but that's how it is. It is not confusing or ambiguous in Sanskrit. Okay, so come to Sanskrit class if you want more things to memorize that are less ambiguous. Okay, so mempe means doctor. Hasso, why is there an S here?
Because that S is indicating by the doctor.
Yay!
Just the case we study number 3.
Yes, we just did this 3 seconds ago.
Yes.
Awesome. So why is there just an S? Why doesn't it say ki or gi or something?
I guess because it doesn't end in jinjuk, it just ends in an open vowel.
Woo! Oh my God. Oh my God, they're learning. Yes, Hassel, perfect. I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much. Exactly.
Well,
So you know mempa right away it must be a noun and it must be the subject of the sentence, right?
yes.
So in this case, it means the doctor. And by the way, Tibetan does not have articles. It doesn't have definite articles. So there's no the in Tibetan. So that is hard for English speakers because we got thes all over the place, right? Okay,
But they have a chick, like a,
that's the indefinite article.
yeah, which is confusing, to be honest.
Welcome to language. Okay, Menpe. And let me tell you something. After studying like 10 languages, I'm not fluent in all of them by any means, but after studying 10, every language has its things that are difficult and its things that are easy, its things that are confusing, and its things that are very clear. Okay, I don't know any language. Sanskrit might be the perfect language. Okay, I still don't know it well enough, but it's very hard because all that distinction and technical clarity comes at the price of marking everything and marking it distinctly, which means you have to memorize ending after ending after ending. Okay, so nepa is the sick, right? If menpa is doctor, what's men?
Medicine.
Medicine.
Whoa, you all got it. Very good. And this
That's
is,
menla.
yeah, what
Medicine Buddha.
does menla mean, actually?
Teacher of medicine?
Wow, Hasso, you get a gold star. Wait, if I wasn't cheap, I'd give you money. Yeah, it means men lama. It doesn't mean medicine Buddha, although he is a Buddha, but it got somehow, some point they translated it as Buddha, but it means literally medicine guru, right? The Sanskrit is, I forget how to say it in Sanskrit perfectly, but it's like Vashikya Guru or something. I forget how to pronounce it. but it's not medicine Buddha. It's medicine teacher, medicine guru. But it refers to a Buddha, so it's okay. Okay, ter is to give. All right, so this la comes after the person receiving the medicine. Okay?
Word, it could be, so nampar, right? Nepar,
Nepa.
could it be? Yes, but so they are adding la, but they're not adding r.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Hold on. Sanam.
No,
다시 할래.
that's delay.
가르쳤네. 가르쳤네. What do you say? Sometimes, kashi.
Yeah.
Genjuk me. You know, Ming Tame. La pitch. Yangsa ra ra pitch.
Rapichetana, take mindu. If you want to put take, then better use la.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, Hako-san. Okay, Hako-san. Yeah, it's basically arbitrary. He just said, if you want to put a whole word, you can just put la.
So it means both cases is possible, right?
It seems that way. More ambiguity. Good luck.
Okay, if you need a beat, you add la.
Yeah, I don't know why you would need a beat in a sentence, but
Yes.
I guess. Anyway, I don't think there's a good reason. Okay. But again, la is the kind of universal one, meaning you can pretty much always use la. All the other ones have like based on the ending, but la is for any of them. Usually you only see the other ones in literature. You don't really see them in colloquial. People just say la for everything.
So if we're not sure, just adding la.
In colloquial, just use la. Yeah. Unless you're gonna write a Buddhist book in literary form, you're okay. This is for translating and reading it. So you may never use it. You're just translating. Okay. But if you do decide to write a Buddhist book in classical Tibetan, more power to you. Okay. So fifth case is the ablative, which is a fancy word. It just means like, where does the thing come from? Where does it originate? So originative is also used. And this is ne or le. Unfortunately,
Sorry, that's the same le that can means karma, right? Because it means action or not?
Yeah, but I was about to say that. Let me say stuff before you say stuff. I'm muting you. So yes, like I was about to say, unfortunately, both ne and le can also mean other things. Le is extremely common in Tibetan literature, as Senor Hasso just pointed out. It can also mean karma, which you're going to see pretty often in Tibetan, right? And it can also mean work, like leka, and it can also, something else it can mean, le, work, karma. I think it can mean like any given action as well, not just karma specifically, okay? Anyway, and then ne also means like raw barley. And barley is really important in Tibet. Usually they eat it toasted. What's it called then?
Sampa.
Yeah, tsampa, right? which is very, that might be the, Sampa and momos are like, and I guess yak meat, I don't know, are like the national,
And butter.
yeah,
The healthy Tibetan diet.
yeah, that's like some of the staples of Tibetan diet. It might be these staples, okay? So you don't see ne as barley that often in text, but you do once in a while, so you got to look out for that. Okay, here we go. Namye ngapa, fifth. And I haven't been saying the Tibetan for each. It's on the chart. It might be, your head might explode or something. I don't have the Tibetan case names memorized either. Okay, Chile chupor chung. So chung means like where something originated from. What do you say in Sanskrit? It's like Sambhava, right? Who's Padma Sambhava?
Mm. The one who comes from the flower lotus.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, chung, right? Originates. So so chupor, bubbles, Chile chupor chung. The bubbles are coming from the water, right? But also in colloquial too, right? I would say, Aijan, kerang, kerang kane yin, right? What does that mean, Aijan?
Where are you from?
Right, where's she from, right? Ka is like is acting like the interrogative particle, right? Like kabar, kane, and ne means from. So kane means from, right? So it's still used in colloquial, okay? So it just means from, and you have to use le and ne to mark that case, okay? Oh my God, we're running out of time. Uh-oh. If you have to go at 10, go. I'm gonna finish this today. Watch the video. Okay, and so the sixth case is very simple. It just shows whose thing it is, possessive, right? So in English, this is apostrophe S. In Chinese, they use the particle de, right? Ja to Rick. Rick's house, right? Okay, for instance. And then Spanish, they use de, right? Casa de Haso?
What?
Casa de Haso?
Yes.
Yes, right?
Yes. Yes. Also.
So that de or de in Chinese is this. Gi, gi, ki, agiku I, and yi. And you see these very, 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 very often in Tibetan, more so than you'd see them in English. Okay? So, and again, they're based, you use ki in after L, N, R, and M as the genjo. You use ki after NG and G. You use ki after sa, pa, ta, and ta as a secondary, right? Pajak, which is exceedingly rare, but it exists. Okay, agiku I and yi you use when there's no ending or, there's a vowel. Or I guess with the as well. Low tone, 6th row, Okay, so te nge pompa yin. That's my pot. Okay, which that could be an issue. This is the agiku I. Okay.
Yeah. You and again it goes before. Yeah. It
goes before.
Yeah, before the object in this case.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. First, the thing that owns it, then the object, then the connective particle, and then the object. Okay?
So what's them that, right? The very first day.
Yes,
The,
that. I
that.
don't, okay.
That. Okay.
Okay.
And you pronounce, sorry, you pronounce that ngay or ngai?
Nye.
Nye. Okay.
All right. Okay. Okay. And so here we go. So here we go again with suru tu dunarala. What are those called? Not Hasso. Anyone else? Hasso had his chance last time. What are those called? Hi, John. Come on.
Ladun.
Okay. Hi, John. Okay, ladun. And dun means
Meaning and the goal.
meaning in what?
Goal.
Oh, goal. Yeah, yeah. So what does ladun mean?
So ladun will mean meaning of the la.
No, they all mean the same thing as la.
Okay. Okay. All these particles means la.
Exactly.
Um,
That's all. So it can also mark where you are, right? Pula. Pula riyu. There are mountains in Tibet. Or where are you? You know, you can say Nangla, I'm home, right? Nga Nangla, you, I'm home. Okay, so you have to use la again. Okay, so that's pretty simple, right? Easy. Just position. And then lastly is the vocative case, which we mark in English with this O. We don't use it much. In Tibetan, it's not marked. In Sanskrit, it is apparently. But we've had it a lot in our medicine Buddha text if you've been in those classes. And it's not marked, right? It just says jampel. How do you know that it is the vocative? Hasso?
I don't know. You get, I guess, just by the context, or
Context and its position in the sentence, right?
but what position here?
Here, there's
in the beginning.
beginning.
Okay.
Yeah. O conqueror. Something
Yeah.
right?
And what? But in English also works if you just say conqueror. It's like if I say word, have you seen blah blah, instead of I say, oh word, have you seen blah blah blah.
If you say word, it's not the vocative case.
No,
You have to
but
say
it can function as it, no, just by my intention. Or well, what about hey word? That will be vocative. Hey word.
it could be. I think so. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Could be. Yeah. Because otherwise, it's just the subject of the sentence or something. It's like it's different. It's not the vocative in that case. Hey word, yeah, it could be, or o word, or low word, or something like that. We barely use this in English anymore, so it's you have to basically pull out.
What about yo?
No, please don't interrupt. Okay.
In the streets.
Okay. Cool. Any questions? Y'all know it perfectly? Or you're confused? Gina's like confused. You just have to memorize. It's not that hard to memorize the markers. Ladun is 3 of them: direct object, indirect object, and locative. 2 of them are not marked: the nominative and the vocative. First one and the 8th one. And lay and nay are used for the ablative, like where's something from. And for the instrumental, it's ki, 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 e, s, and e. And then for the possessive, it's ki, 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 agiku e, and yi. And that's it.
Sorry, were these 8 cases, they are not in the book?
They are, but they're over several chapters and they're extremely detailed, and the language is very technical and it's very difficult.
Oh,
And so if I didn't give you this beforehand, it's going to be very hard to explain. And then I would just have to go back to this. So I decided that I would just do this today instead of attempting, because I would just have to go back because the language is technical. The ideas, if you don't know your grammar that well, because many people don't, it would be very hard. And so I just, instead of just doing it and then having to go back, I just went back. So some people, I already had this class, like Ijon. I think Ijon's the only person here. She's the only survivor. No, because it's technical, it's annoying, but people specifically asked for Tibetan grammar, correct? Yeah. So if it's,
Yes, and this, thank you for teaching that because it was so confusing, even in colloquial.
okay. Yeah, I don't know. I've thought a lot about grammar. For me, most of it I can pick up, you know, but for other people, they need it like really specific, and I understand that struggle. So I'm offering this class. Geshe Michael, in my experience of him and based on what he said, does not teach grammar like this. She's like, translate the book. Okay. And I think that's amazing. And I agree with that. Okay, Gina, bye. I know I'm late. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's a wonderful method, but I guess unfortunately it doesn't work for everybody. So here we are. I'm attempting to teach things Geshe Michael is not teaching, which I think is very proper actually. Because first of all, he's better at teaching everything than I am. His grammar is amazing. He has the best English grammar of anyone I've ever met. Okay. He knows all the terms and all this stuff, and it's like, what? Really? Come on, Geshe. Yes, he's good at everything he does. And so I'm just trying to help out in the ways that my Lama appears not to have time to. Okay? So I hope it's helpful. And so next week we'll continue with chapter 4, which gets into a lot of what I already discussed, but in more detail, and with fancier words, which everyone loves. All right? So,
Wow. What a way to come back to class.
hi.
First class back, grammar.
Awesome. I'm glad you made it.
Me too. Thank you.
Okay. Well, unless there's questions, that's it for today's class. Did we forget the mandala at the beginning? Did I forget? I forgot. Let's do mandala at the end. Okay. Rick, you want to do it?
all right.
Go ahead. Please.
Sashi Poki Juksi Meto Tram Viva Nishi Genpa Genpa Di Sange Shindu Mite Uwagi Yokun Namda Shinla Drupa Sho Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kami Atayami Gewa Di Gewa Kun Sunam Yenshe Zok Sok Shi Sunam Yenshe Rejo Wei Dampa Kuni Jokpa Sho. Thank you.
Yay. So remember, tomorrow we're going to have both dictionary and mind only back to back. There's no class on Thursday morning. And September 5th, I'm teaching them Mixed Nuts All Stars group. I guess that's a Saturday. I think it's at 6 our time. I'll have to check. I'll send out an invite to my list, and it should be fun. It's going to be annoyingly difficult, but as Gesho said, he gave us books like like the translators. So I'm annoyingly difficult, so that's what I got. Okay?
Okay. Thank you, Wood.
All right, you're so welcome. See you all tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, Word.
Later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye from
Bye bye.
Singapore.
Thank you.